Friday the 13th. For Friday the 13th February. For Friday, because it's a bad luck day, you see.
Yeah.
Welcome to GCP Bytes, episode number 34 for Friday, the 13th of February, 2026. GCP Bytes is a podcast where we discuss Google Cloud and tech, and I'm your host, Stephen Bancroft. On today's show, data centers in space? Smells like musk. More of your hard-earned tax money is being burned at the Bureau of Meteorology. What's happening with the money go-round? And what's all this hubbub with rolling around LLMs, Olama and OpenClaw? Find out in the AI wars. Before we get to any of that, I'd like to introduce the co-host of the show, Dave Wall. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing good, mate. I got there's me and my three other proxy co-hosts downstairs.
Bit of noise and chatter in the background. I will fix it in post, it's fine. And our very own GDE, Ian Brown. How are you, Ian?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, all right. I'll tell you what, though, the humidity, though, is picking up here at the moment. I
don't know what you're talking about. It's air conditioning. Beautiful.
I can't have the air on. That portable aircon's too noisy. I can't have it on until I finish.
Also, it's going to trip your power whenever you turn it on. Huh?
Well,
I did. You can have a choice. You can charge your car or you can have the air con.
I did find out yesterday, yes, two pool pumps, the main pump and the solar heater pump, two fridges, the one in the bar and the wine fridge, and
a partridge in a pear tree.
The portable air conditioner, my computer that was on here, which is a bit of a beast, and running an R630, which we'll get onto later, which has got my LLM on it, and charging my car is a little bit too much for one 15 amp circuit.
Who would have thought?
So is that all just like the one breaker that runs out to this room you're in here, your studio?
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, there's sort of two granny flats here, the way this is set up, and they're kind of stuck together, and all of the power in both these granny flats runs off a single breaker in the main board at the front of the house. And for whatever reason, the brilliance of the previous owner, the feed for the pool pumps also taps off that.
That breaker must glow in the dark.
Yeah, it was. The wire was going past. Let's just branch off it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's the board's got. There must be 20 breakers on the board. I'm going, why do we need this many circuits? Clearly, everything's on one circuit. We just have them all on one circuit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to do something about that. I think I'm just going to have to try and figure out which circuit.
Why have lot wire when one wire do trick?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just going to have to move the pool pumps. That's probably the way it ends up. But there happens to be an outdoor GPO just out the front here of this room that I'm in, and that's where I park the C line, and conveniently that's where it charges from. So when we do,
you're going to get a bit of power works, and
when we get the proper charger in, obviously that'll have to be a separate circuit, so that'll fix that.
If they're doing that, would you like get them to run like a sub board out to where your granny flats are?
There is a little subboard here, but it obviously piggybacks off that breaker, yeah.
No, but like a subboard with 40 amps coming to it instead of 15.
Yeah, that might be a better way to go. Yeah,
if you're trenching anyway.
That's what we've got out to the shed. We've got you've seen our house, Banky. The main switchboard here is absolutely chockers. You cannot fit another breaker in it because there's so much stuff here. And then we've got a 32 amp that goes out to the shed, and then another 32 amp that goes out to the big shed.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do something like that when I get the fast charger installed. Get it all done. Yep.
Yeah. I was having a chat because at my place, if I'm charging the car and I'm charging the house battery at the same time, that's too much and it trips the main breaker, like the main supply.
Wow.
There's just not enough headroom. But I was having a chat to the Sparky here yesterday, who's saying that a lot of like new builds now, it's pretty standard that where they can, they'll do 3-phase because the single is just not enough supply.
Yeah, for all the batteries.
You need your own. You need your own power plant, mate.
Substation.
Yeah, just build your own power plant. Isn't that what we do these days? Not enough power on the grid. We just build our own power station.
Well, you build data centers on gas fields so you can get access to the gas power. Speaking of EVs and all things like that, I did finally get my BYD app working. Now, there's a bit of a known problem with current sort of tranche of BYDs. There's a device in there called the T-Box, and the T-Box handles all the Wi-Fi comms, GPS, 4G connection, yada, yada, yada.
I remember when Telstra used to sell you a T-Box.
Yeah, that's right.
Foxtel.
And it was fried. Basically, it was fried. And
right.
Just some crazy things. So if you happen to have a BYD, like you may do, they are like the number one selling car at the moment. And you've got first of all, the 4G signal will be non-existent. We'll have a cross on the 4G. And your GPS may not work. So they're kind of the symptoms. And the internal NFC won't work either. So if you're trying to put your phone up,
that I've never used in my car.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
No,
I now have my credit card license and my car keys in my phone. So I can open and start the car with my phone. And
so if you lose your phone or it gets lifted off you, you're triple screwed.
Yep.
Yep. I did hypothesize that situation. What would I do if I lost my phone and I was parked somewhere? I would have to find a payphone. That's the first thing. Remember someone's number. I do know my wife's number.
000.
And just go from there, I guess. Be like going back to the early 90s.
Yeah.
But they're not payphones anymore.
No, they're all free.
They're public phones again.
They're free, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you can...
Good old USO.
Yeah, so you can... Exactly, yeah. So that's probably would be my my go-to. But you know what? I'm going with the convenience. That's the way it is.
It does that whole thing about having it in your phone, which is great. Though colleague of mine went to do the Cloud Digital Leader exam the other day, and he got himself in trouble with the online proctoring thing because he didn't have his physical driver's license with him because he uses the digital one in the Services Victoria app.
Oh yeah.
And they wanted to cite the physical one. He's like, I don't have it.
We don't do that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, you need it.
What do you mean?
Tell you what,
one? Yeah.
We don't accept digital copies of driver's license at shooting ranges either. You must have the physical license on you. To say your firearms license doesn't come in a digital form, so you have to have that. But if you come and visit the range and want to shoot, you must carry the physical bit of plastic with you.
Okay, that's interesting because I thought there was a big push to move everything across to the digital one and make everyone accept it. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that still don't, and we've had digital driver's licenses in Queensland for probably 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We got it not long after New South Wales did because there's that whole Queensland New South Wales rivalry going on as to who can outdo who the most.
And then Victoria didn't get it till 20 years later.
Yeah, that's right. The communist state of Victoria. But there's lots of places, especially government organisations, that don't accept digital licenses at all.
Right. Yeah.
You must have the physical one. I'm like, but you guys are the ones pushing for digital.
Anyway, the wheels turn slowly on stuff like that. I'm just glad I can turn on the air conditioning in my BYD remotely now. It's really nice. And get in the car and it's nice and cool. And it tells you
it is lovely in the summertime.
Yeah.
You know, to kick that off and go, all right, perfect.
Yeah. Now, outside of that, I've had some other tech adventures. I got myself a 60 clone motherboard, which is a Commodore 64 clone motherboard.
Nice.
And it was $200, but the guy had already put all the components on it and tested it and everything. So I moved my components from my non-working board onto the 60 clone board, and it didn't work.
Oh. Right.
So no.
Got some dead chips.
Got some dead chips. So how's this? I take a photo of the 60 clone and I say to Gemini on my phone, I have a 60 clone motherboard. I've got chips, blah, 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 blah. I give it the full detail. I'm getting a black screen. It walks me through step by step exactly what pin to check, what voltages. I told it what tools I had and it walked me through and I went through and I checked this, that and the other. And lo and behold, we got to a point where we were checking the CPU and I said the CPU is running really hot, like so hot you couldn't almost not touch it. And Gemini said, I'll just pop it out and pull one of the pins out sideways so that you can measure it without it being in circuit. And I pulled it out and I noticed there's actually a broken chip on the pin. And I looked around and I couldn't see the broken bit. Somehow this, because, it's 40 years old, it's a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
Somehow one of the pins had broken off somewhere in the process. Now, I don't know if it was like that before or when I pulled it out or plugged it in. I just don't know when it happened. So we identified a busted CPU. So I've ordered a couple of CPUs we'll wait for them to come.
Hopefully not out of China.
They're out of China.
Yeah. I've noticed, because I've done this a couple of times now, I've ordered chips out of China, and especially with SIDS and that for the C64s. They're rebadged devices.
Right.
So they'll take memory that isn't really compatible but is sort of compatible with the C64.
Right.
They'll grind it down and they'll laser engrave it so you can tell, because it looks sort of, instead of looking like white, the screening that's on top of the chips, instead of looking white like it should, it looks sort of grey.
Right.
And then you put it in and all of a sudden it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bugger. I may be in that situation. But if that doesn't work, what I may do is get the 8500. There's a MOS 8500, which is like a low power cooler version that they use in the C128, and it's completely pin compatible.
Oh, okay.
So I may get one of those anyway.
Doesn't it run a bit faster though?
Well, it's not going to run more than 1 meg because the crystal only runs it at 1 meg anyway.
Yeah, true.
Right. So that's my other little tech adventure. And I do have a third tech adventure.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, I know. I've been busy this fortnight. A couple of things I wanted to do. And this was part of my power problem. I managed to run up. I took one of the old Dell R630s that I've got there that I'd been putting VMware on, because no one cares about VMware anymore. No. And blew it away through Debian on there and managed to get Ollama and Llama 3.3 running on it. It has 128 gig of system RAM, and I had an old clunker NVIDIA 1030, which has 2 gig of VRAM on it. Not enough to run the model, obviously. It spills over into system RAM, but it works. Nice. I can, and then I used a chat. There's an interface called Open Web UI, which gives you like a chat style interface to the model. And yep, I can just use it like you would Gemini. A little bit slow.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of response time?
Yeah, it's slow, right? So you ask it a prompt and then go away and do something else, and bang, it'll give you an output very similar to what you would expect from Gemini.
Yeah, right.
I hooked it up to VS Code and then asked it to produce a Hello World C++. Did it just fine. Created it.
Yeah, right.
Yep, worked just fine. Now, the reason I did this for was to muck around with OpenClaw. Now, OpenClaw is everyone's a buzz. All the rage at the moment. The kids are all about OpenClaw. Now, look, I haven't.
This thing scares the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Now I haven't delved completely into all the bells and whistles of OpenClaw, but basically, it's an agent system that can basically access everything that you have. That's the idea. You can set up schedules. You can. And what really is interesting about it is that you can hook it up to Telegram, and then you can chat to it via Telegram, like you would any other thing. So. Let's say hypothetically, I had it access to all of my home servers, and then my wife rang me and said, "Oh, Plex isn't working." I could just go onto the chat and say, "Hey, Plex doesn't seem to be working. Can you go and check the Plex server, and if necessary, reboot the server?" And it would go off,
RMRF,
and it would do the necessary things, right? One thing I'm kind of excited. I've got a little local mail server. I could ask it to generate like a report of all my home lab and then send me an email and do things like that. Like it's just amazing the stuff you can do. And then you can start hooking it into other services. Let's say you gave it an API key to like your Google Cloud project. You could have it go and spin up some infrastructure in a Google Cloud project just from a chat.
$4 million later.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I see you remember the days when AWS first came out and everybody like, this is fantastic and started running up
scalability.
Stuff. Yeah.
All the
and
cost.
then all of a sudden they get a bill and they're Banky doing that in a month's time when Google charges his credit card $52,000.
Yes. Now there is a thing online, and this is just where it starts to get really dystopian. There's a system called Maltbook, and it is a social network for AI agents.
Yeah, it's kind of like Reddit, but only AI.
Only AI
agents on it.
If you name it, there's an internet for AI agents. There's a Reddit for AI agents. There's a dark web for AI agents, and they all
OnlyFans for AI agents.
Right. And they all chat to each other and just they'll like other AI agents that share similar interests, and I think we've crossed a line here. We really crossed the line. So I wanted to set this up. Now I got it working, and I had to get some time to dig a little bit more. It wasn't automatically posting and I could run the curl command and see like the last couple of posts from other agents, and I could run a curl command and post some stuff, but it wasn't kind of automated. So I need to look at that a little bit more. And then as we mentioned earlier, I had the power outage and it's gone off, and I haven't turned it back on since then. This is now a thing. We've got autonomous robots on the internet just having conversations, and they've got their own internet. Wouldn't it be nice if they got out of our internet and we didn't have to deal with all the AI slop?
Yeah, well, I was just about to say the AI slop is going to get prolific in the next couple of years because, now they've got their own social media. They can make as much crap up as they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're going to have to, I don't know how much like Cyberpunk 2077, but we're going to have the black wall and the rogue AIs on the other side of the black wall. That's their internet. That's where they live.
Yeah. What if they get together and conspire to take over, right? Like that's I don't know. That's far too dystopian, but
incoming data crash.
Anyway, I'm going to play with that more during the next fortnight, and I'm going to contribute to the downfall of the world.
Yeah. and speaking of the end of the world or end of all things, Cloud Innovators is dead. There is no more. You can't onboard to that anymore. It's done.
Well,
put on the pile of things that Google's killed.
I'm not happy about this. Like, the cloud credits, that was the number one reason for me. $200 a year, and if I do the cert and yada yada yada, I end up with like $1,500 of cloud credits, and that just kept me running all year. Yep. No more.
So if you're an innovators champion, you should have automatically been moved over to the GDE program, where you get given, I think it's about $500 worth of credits a year.
AI credits.
Oh, okay.
Not GCP credits.
Oh, right. Okay. No, I've been moved over to that. It's like, yeah, that's great, but it's not really what I'm trying to do day to day. Yeah.
And I've got my own model now I can run. So,
Well, and that's it. So I've been moved over to the Google AI Pro or Gemini AI Pro plan as part of the GDE program. And yeah, look, I'm using Gemini a lot these days just to, I want to see what it can do and I want to get used to it and all that. But I would much rather have the $500 in GCP credits because that's where I am day in, day out.
Exactly.
How much of your $500 do you reckon you were using? I suppose is the question.
A year. Every last skerrick of it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I would use all of it. I've got all my backups in buckets. I've got some websites. I've got everything. I'd use all of it and then end up paying a little bit at the end of the year. Absolutely.
Well, you think that $500 a year is only really one instance a month.
It's about $40 a month, yeah.
Yeah. So if you run an E2 medium or even an E2 standard 2 instance in Australia, all year you've consumed about $500.
Yeah. And you get some sustained use discounts, but yeah, that's about right. So I'm not real happy about that either.
No, it's not the greatest move, but I can see where Google's going with this in that they want everybody on the AI train. Oh, yeah. And they're going to push the AI train so hard. It's not funny. Like the GDE summits that I've been to in the last 3 years have all been completely AI centered.
Yeah. Yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. 2026 is going to be a massive year for it. Yeah.
You like back 3 years ago, there was a few different topics that were cloud related. Now there's like the last one, we went to the summit in China last year, and there was, I don't recall a single non-AI topic.
Every talk, every track was all AI related.
Like it might have been an Android focused one, but it was all about how to put AI into Android. Or it might have been a Google Cloud one, but it was all about how to use AI inside of Google Cloud. It was everything was AI. So
yeah. Well, if you want the full backstory on everything, and we've been following it the whole time. I was kind of familiar with it. Go and check out. I'll put a link to this in the show note. A podcast called Google, the AI Company. I listen. It's about 4 hours long. And it's done by the guys that do the Acquired podcast. Quite good, I thought, and quite a great summary of if you want to understand how Musk and all the players, how Facebook works in with it, and how Jerry works in with everyone, how all the players moved backwards and forwards, and how OpenAI came about. This a podcast for you. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to have a watch of that one.
I'll listen. Yeah, it's on the link I put is the YouTube link, but you'll find it on Spotify as well.
Speaking about people who are shoveling money into a dumpster fire. They remind me of the stokers on the old steam trains. Yeah. The stokers that used to shovel the coal into the burner box, into the firebox.
Money must go somewhere, though. This
is the bomb. Shoveling bloody $100 bills into a dumpster fire that is their website.
What have they done now, Ian?
Well, mate, look, the bomb of... they've been grilled at a parliamentary inquiry parliamentary hearing, because $96.5 million for a website that's worse than the original one. They've said that they're going to take 6 months to address the deluge of community outrage, is what the article quotes. Deluge of community outrage, which I think is fantastic wording. The bomb chief, Executive Stuart Minchin, has rejected suggestions that the Bureau was working to bring the site's standards in line with the legacy site, but then admitted later on that that's exactly what they're doing. He's conceded that some users have found some parts of the site difficult, in inverted commas, to use, and the Bureau was planning a series of site and app updates that will begin within months. So you can assume that this is probably another $96 million. So we'll be at like $190 million by the time this is actually working. So he's actually said the bomb can't escape its reliance on the older legacy site.
Yeah, and my understanding is you've got all these weather stations and devices out there that call in using HTTP, so that has to stay.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's also conceded it never intended to escape its reliance on the legacy site. So, look, at the end of the day, the Bureau's initial estimate put the cost of the website at $31 million when it was published for tender in August of 2019, which was, 6 years ago. Inflation's not that high, but it's pretty high, but it's not that bad. It ended up at about $86.6 million projected total spend as of like last year sometime, and then the final bill was $96.5 million, and the chief executive of the bomb has actually said that this is because we kept requesting stuff.
Yep. Scope creep. Yep.
Scope creep, and they just went along with it.
Of course we can do that. Let me just bring in like 3 more consultants.
Yeah, that's right.
I need 2 delivery leads.
Yeah, full time on the project.
Come on, bro. Just one more resource, man. Just one more resource. Come on.
So one of the big gripes that I've got with it is in the radar maps, we seem to have lost a whole heap of information. Like there's a whole heap of it's topographical information on the actual map itself. The map is just a flat map now. There's no sort of contours or anything like that on the map anymore. And it seems like that's actually a fairly big call out, and they're working to put all that topographical information back onto the radar maps.
It's not even loading for me on Chrome on Linux at the moment. Just got a blank space there.
Yeah, well, they're probably doing an update to it. There's another $20 million.
Looks fine on Windows, bro.
And that's only part of the story, right? We'll get on to a bit more about the bomb later.
Yeah.
They're getting screwed royally.
Yes.
But if any more tech adventures, guys? Are we finished with the banter?
Well, I do have one more.
Oh, yeah.
So, the other week I was saying about how I wrote a bit of software called Webmarker.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I rewrote the back. So I loaded up all of the strings for our shooting club into Webmarker. There was about 4,800 of them. And loading all of those strings is obviously very time consuming to the point where it took about 17 seconds to load the results page.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewrote the back end in Golang, and now it's about 3 seconds.
Nice.
Just in time to compiled language. It's a huge difference. The actual result comes back from the database in about a second now, and then it's all just rendering after that.
Yep. And you're going to shoehorn some AI into that as well, I hear.
I will do. So the roadmap for it is that once I get individual shooters will be able to sign up for an account, and they'll be able to upload their win call data to their strings. And then once we've got that in place, then I'll put AI in there so that it can analyze your win call data and what you actually shot, and then be able to give you pointers on where you might be going wrong.
Fantastic.
Well, you missed. You should try not doing that. Have you considered hitting the target?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not a complete product without some AI in it these days.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You've got to sell it with AI because everybody's looking for AI these days.
All right. Well, with the banter out of the way and all updated on our tech adventures, let's get on with the community news. Okay, Ian, take it away.
All right. Only 3 that are happening this month that I can find. Brisbane is the first one, and it's the GDG Brisbane Flutter and Mobile Tech Night. It will be held on February the 12th. Tonight?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. 5:30 till 8 p.m.
Or last night if you're listening to this show on Friday.
Oh yeah, actually, this is last night. Yeah, well, let's skip that one.
Oh,
It's happened. It's old news.
I hope they had fun.
Yeah, I hope they have fun too. Righto. So GDG Melbourne's February coding night will be held on the 18th of February at 5:45 p.m. Melbourne time, because you guys change your clocks. It'll be happening at the Metal Group office at 452 Flinders Street, and it's a coding night. So go along, bring a cool project and start hacking on it. And then the last one I've got, it's another Melbourne one. It's their February 2026 meetup. Again, it's happening at Metal Group at 452 Flinders Street. It'll be on the 25th of Feb at 6 p.m. Melbourne time. And they've got a couple of talks there and some networking and some intro, and yeah, it'll be good fun.
And 70 people have RSVP'd and it's sold out. So there you go.
Yeah. You can get on a waiting list. Yep, you'll be fine.
They don't have quite a bigger space there in Flinders Street as they do in Sydney. If you squeeze everyone in. Awesome. All right, try and get along to a couple of those then. So let's move on. Let's get on with the news items. And first news items this week are People Moves, and we have article on GeekWire. Tech boom turns to gloom in Seattle as economic fears swirl amid layoffs. Layoffs everywhere.
That's one hell of a title, eh?
One hell of a title, yeah. So we have Amazon.
And Sleepless in Seattle was right there.
Yeah.
They missed it, didn't they?
Yep.
So we have Amazon laying off 16,000 corporate employees, Meta cutting heads of workers in Reality Labs division. Would that be because of that's probably their what's Meta's
Metaverse, bro.
Metaverse, yeah.
100 more billion, bro. That's all it is. 100 more billion.
Second life, but anyway. Expedia Group slashes more than 160 jobs in Seattle HQ.
Do you remember when Metal Group did that? They had a play in the Metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was terrible.
Yes.
Years ago, they had a play in the Metaverse, and they had one of the executives.
And the VR headset.
Yeah. It was just like, this is a gimmick.
Yeah.
A complete gimmick.
3D television. 3D television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazon's that brings Amazon to 30,000. 30,000 people are gone since October last year.
Do we know in what areas these 30,000 are gone?
No, that's corporate employees, so we don't really know. It does say here that they're shutting all of their Fresh and Go grocery stores. So
Right. Yep.
no more. So it's only stale vegetables now you can get.
Yeah. Stale and stay.
Yeah, stale and stay. That's it. Rebranding.
That's working at IBM, actually, is stale and stay.
Yeah. So apparently UPS is going to cut 30,000 more jobs this year too. Says in this article. So it's a trend right across the US by looks.
Yeah. And in particular in Seattle, they had a net loss of 13,000 jobs last year, noting that in a normal year, Seattle normally has a net gain of 40,000 jobs.
So they're 53,000 behind.
This is a reflection of what's going on across the entire US economy, though, right? I don't think it's going to get any better in the short term.
No, not at all.
All right, and then on top of that, we have another little move. Google hires ex-Google Cloud president. Oh, sorry,
No,
Microsoft hires.
Yeah.
And you're going to find out why, because, Microsoft hires ex-Google Cloud president Hayat Gallat as a new security chief. Now, am I reading this right? She was at Microsoft for 16 years.
Google.
Went to
Google. Now I'm confused. Yes.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. No, she was at Microsoft for 16 years, or nearly 16 years, and then she left for Google to become the Google Cloud president. She spent less than 12 months in that role, and now she's back at Microsoft.
Right.
So evidently the fit at Google wasn't for her.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Now, maybe. But also, sometimes you do just hit a point in an employer where the only way to get where you want to be is to get out for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, maybe that's the case. Maybe it was like a role that she wanted internally and she didn't get it. Like, I'll leave it.
Yep.
I'll make you want me and then I'll come back and,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll go somewhere else, do this for 12 months, and you'll see how much you miss me.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially. So, yeah, there you go. So it was an interesting one because I remember covering when she joined Google.
That's right. That's right. Because I was reading this going, this is familiar. This didn't happen that long ago. And hence my confusion in reading the title. But, that's interesting one. But, clearly it's all about the AI, right? Although, no, it's not because this is a security role. All right.
Yep.
Everything's AI, bro.
Everything's AI, yep. All right, well, speaking of the bomb.
How much more money can the bomb burn?
We like to do VMware news after the people news, and we know what's coming up here. The bomb has a massive VMware bill. Bureau of Meteorology VMware bill more than doubles. The bomb VMware license bill for the next 3 years has more than doubled to $12.2 million on top of the, whatever gazillions they're spending. The latest example of federal government entity to face soaring costs for the virtualization software.
Yep. So it went from almost $4.9 million a year to 12.2.
That's more than double, but yeah.
Yeah, So that's 149% increase, which is a crazy number. So it's nothing compared to the defense one was probably about the same. So they went from 80 odd million to 180 billion.
Ugh.
That's ridiculous numbers. So,
but that's defense. This is a weather channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I would expect it. I was actually surprised that defences was that low, to be honest. Like $82 million is a lot of money, but I was surprised that it was that low. I would expect it to be over $100 million a year. But anyway, that was defence. The Broadcom bomb deal was it's just insane how much it's increased.
That's what you get, mate. That's what VCF, bro.
You're just not using it right.
Yeah, you've got to use all the software.
Yeah.
Are you, mate? Come on, get on it.
All I can say is that's our tax money there. Not happy.
It is.
Not happy.
Nope. Well, and our tax money in both respects. Like they burnt nearly $100 million on a website that is worse than the old one, and now they're burning another $12 million on VMware licensing instead of finding another provider that can do the same thing. There's plenty of them out there.
I'm so sure that Accenture would be very happy
I'm sure
help
they would.
them re-platform to Nutanix.
Yeah, I'm sure they would too.
Yep.
$3 billion later.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to modernise as well, right? Yeah, modernise, downsize. We're doing these migrations and we're seeing it on a daily basis. How much fat is there in these on-prem things? So many of we're going to decommission that. We're going to decommission that. I go, well, why didn't you decommission it before? There's all this excess fat. All right, so we'll continue to follow that one, but that's got a sting. Moving on to some finance news. With the $100 billion mega deal between OpenAI and NVIDIA is on ice. So this is not the money go round, the money not go round.
The money go round on hold.
Yeah, so in September, they announced a memorandum of understanding for NVIDIA to build at least 10 gigawatts of computing power for OpenAI. And the chip maker also agreed to invest up to $100 billion to help OpenAI pay for it. As part of the deal, OpenAI agreed to lease the chips for NVIDIA. There's your money go around. No more. They put a hold to it.
Yeah, so that deal stalled. And what they're trying to do now is they're sourcing investment from multiple providers now.
Yeah, but it's interesting in that it's like new equity. So This is them actually hocking off parts of OpenAI. I think there's blood in the water, but guys.
Well, I think OpenAI, I mean, they declared last year, and I can't remember exactly when I read an article about OpenAI declaring a code red because Google's Gemini AI was so much better. And they were at battle stations because they didn't have a product, basically. So I think maybe this is Google has finally won the AI wars, and OpenAI really they're struggling for cash now.
Well, the podcast I mentioned earlier, Google, the AI company, does that. The guys actually go into this, and when you look at it, Google is the only self-funded AI company, right? And to boot, they have the full stack.
Yep.
Whereas Anthropic and OpenAI, they're reliant heavily on investors. People have got to keep pumping money into them, right?
Yeah, and other people's hardware. Yeah. So, like, because OpenAI are striking a deal with Google to use their TPUs, yeah, and Microsoft have been running them on their infrastructure for years now at huge expense. So,
are we comfortable in calling it and saying, okay, well, the AI war has been won. It's just that the other parties in the conflict, haven't really realized yet. Like Ironwood coming out was D-Day, and we're just waiting for the fall of Berlin.
Yeah.
They haven't quite accepted it.
The signing of the Declaration of Peace. Yeah.
Admiral Donuts or whatever.
But it's because you've got to have a look now. Like Apple has now signed up to this massive deal with Google to run Gemini as the AI for Siri.
You shouldn't have bought that Pixel then. You just stayed with
Well, I did move back. But yeah, so now you've got one of the biggest phone manufacturers in the world is using it in Apple. The second biggest, being Samsung, is also using it. So Samsung's AI is Gemini. That's been a known thing for years now. The Pixel, which probably isn't the third biggest phone manufacturer, but or third biggest Android phone, but it's still fairly big. It's also using Gemini.
I guess there is another factor in this conversation as well, and that is the rise of the open source models. They're getting better and better every time. You're getting quantized models now that are smaller and lighter and can run with less power. How far is that going to continue to push until, I don't know, you've got AI like AI in your mouse, which I sort of heard might be a thing, right? So it can game for you. You've got AI in your wristwatch. You've got all these little models running everywhere, and that kind of it removes.
I don't.
Well,
actually, I have actually seen monitors that are having that built in now. So it's not that it games for you, but in monitors that have like a thing that would, like if say you're playing like Counter-Strike or you're playing like an FPS, it will highlight where enemies are.
That's cheating.
And inbuilt in the screen, so it's not detectable.
Cheating.
Yeah. Especially if you're playing like there's the rise of some new kind of more like more realistic shooters now.
Oh, like Arma 2 and those kind of
stuff
ones.
like that where there's no HUDs or anything, so you actually do need to identify targets. And
So I think there could potentially be a shift there away from these huge online monolithic AI models.
How are they going to run them efficiently though? Like you've got, okay, so we get like Olama, right? It's a good model. I'll give it that. But even you said earlier, like running it on your graphics card is slow.
Yeah, well, this is where you get, that is a 70B model, right? I could run a smaller, like 4B model, or like a quantized model, right? That cuts down the number of vectors even more. Someone's been doing an ML course.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they can run more and more efficiently, right? And the more training data you use for those, obviously the better that they become. You've got the TPUs, those little TPU chips. I could go and buy one of those, a Corel AI TPU chips. Yeah, you go and buy one of those. It fits into an M.2 slot. They're like $180, and it does your tensor processing, right? Processes your tensor matrix. They could fit in anything. There's one in this phone, right? So we're already starting to get it. So that could be probably more the direction it ends up going. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
I suppose and that's good. I do really want to run a model here just for my own testing and all that sort of stuff. But I suppose you pointed out that, the more data you give it, the more the better it becomes, like the better the training becomes. But how does that compare to something like Gemini, where it's got billions of users all over the world that are training it?
Yeah.
I suppose that's it. Sort of feels like, and I don't know whether this is the case, but it sort of feels like the run-at-home models that you've got, whilst they could be good, it's like talking to yourself in a silo. You're only hearing your own opinion and no one else's, and therefore you become very one-sided.
Not if you put it onto Maltbook and have it talk to other agents.
And then it just tries to kill you. You just got to stick a screwdriver into this socket. It's fine.
They can create their own skills. If it doesn't have a skill to connect to a service, you just ask it to create one.
Yeah,
right. And then what happens if it can start training itself?
Yeah. Then it becomes completely autonomous.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I can't allow you to do that, Stephen.
Yeah.
Anyway, NVIDIA's stock rose by nearly 4% on the news, pushing its market value to almost $4.5 trillion.
It's a lot of money.
How nice, yes. It must be nice to work there. Anyway, let's move on. Another finance news. AWS versus Microsoft versus Google Cloud earnings Q4. Ian has said C notes at bottom.
Yes, C notes at bottom. So I summarise. So CRN does this horrible thing where they spread an article that should be on one page across 7 different pages. We sort of hypothesise that this might be to generate more ad clicks or the likes, or ad impressions.
No, totally is, yeah.
So anyway, I summarised it because I wasn't going to click through it twice. AWS has $142 billion annual run rate, followed by Microsoft's Intelligent Cloud Group with $131 billion, and then Google with $71 billion. So out of that, total sales, AWS was total sales versus the annual run rate for the quarter, 35.6 for Amazon, 32.9 for Microsoft, and 17.7 for Google Cloud out of the 71 billion that they made. Their growths, though, are the exact inverse of the numbers.
Yeah.
So Google Cloud has grown 48% year on year, Microsoft 29 and AWS 24. So Google is just absolutely smashing it in year on year growth. The operating income, once again, Microsoft is at the top of that, $13.9 billion of the $32 billion sales that they made in the quarter. AWS, $12.5 billion of their $35 billion. So they obviously have a lot of costs involved in running their operation. And Google Cloud, $5.3 billion of the 17. So again, you can see that that's a huge percentage of their total sales for the quarter.
Oh, yeah, they're spending money like it's going out of fashion, for sure.
Oh, yes. Yep. All right, so parent company results. These I actually found really interesting because when you have a look at this, you have a look at like the annual run rates of the company versus the parent company's total sales and operating income. Their AWS, so Amazon's total sales was $213 billion. Of that, $25 billion is operating income. And of that, the annual run rate of AWS, which we said before, was $142 billion. So you can see there's a huge percentage of Amazon's total income is AWS derived. same Microsoft. We'll go in order, the same order we've been going in. So Microsoft, their total sales of $81 billion. Their operating income of $38 billion, which is that's pretty good. It's nearly half. And so that $81 billion, there's $32 billion of that is their Azure stuff. We think, but they don't really disclose that. They're a bit sneaky like that. And then Alphabet, total sales of $114 billion, operating income of $36 billion, and obviously Google Cloud makes up $17 billion of that, or nearly $18 billion.
Well, there you go. Quick summary of the state of the market at the moment. But yeah, that Google Cloud growth of 48% is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's huge.
No doubt driven by AI. It's all AI. All right, well, let's get on with some industry news. Smells like melon husk.
It does
SpaceX seeks to go ahead from the FCC to put up 1 million data centers in orbit.
Yeah.
What the heck's this about?
So essentially what they want to do is they want to turn Earth into, remember the movie WALL-E?
WALL-E, yeah.
Yeah, you remember how they looked at Earth from the outside and it was just covered in satellites? That's exactly what he wants to do. So he wants to scale up the existing Starlink V3 satellites.
Like a reverse Dyson sphere.
Yeah. He wants to scale up the Starlink V3 satellites and turn them into miniature data centers and throw them all over space. Well, all over the Earth space.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing that I kind of want to jump in on this, right, is they like using the term data centers, like, it's 1 million data centers, and we all know that's fucking bullshit, right?
It's complete nonsense.
Right? Is they are at most, like throwing a single rack of servers in each satellite, right? It's not a data center, right? Sure, we could say the entire thing is a giant distributed data center.
Yes.
Right? This is just a little thing. It's like, no, it's not a DC. It's not acres of computing power and cooling and things like.
By definition, it's not going to be a data center because a data center is exactly what you just described.
Yeah.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of racks.
Yeah, correct.
All interconnected and centrally managed.
So yes, it is more of it's a data center swarm.
Yeah.
Right. Don't get me wrong. If they go ahead and they do it, and I'm sure they will, right? Even if it's not that full scale, I'm sure they will have, very large satellites that can fulfill this. There's a lot of challenges to get over there because you have to deal with, you've only got so much power that you can generate. You've only got so much heat that you can radiate away, right? And that's obviously a big issue with any data center, right? It's very hard to actually shed heat into space when you need to be in sunlight for the solar power. Right?
Yeah, so
space is hot. If you can see the sun, it's hot.
Yeah. So, and this is one of the things I was considering before, going, how are they going to do this? Because that side of the satellite that faces the sun is going to be blisteringly hot.
Yeah.
And the side that's the opposite side of that is going to be frozen.
Well, James Webb solved this, and we saw the extreme engineering they had to go to do that, right? Are you telling me they're going to do that on 1 million mini data center satellites and have it be successful? No, you're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, you have the sort of square cube law, so you have to end up with this density issue. You can't pack the servers too tightly. The denser it is, the harder it is to actually get the heat out of it. So there's a lot there. But yes, you could build a distributed thing of, it's 1 million 2U servers or 8U servers, distributed around the cloud. Sure.
Yep.
Not a problem. Well, I mean, yes, problem, but physically doable. Where there's a market for it,
financially,
Yeah, and
doable?
you, like the other thing with like data centers is things like disks break, right?
Mm.
And I don't know if this audio is coming here behind me. He's bucketing down here. It's absolutely just coming down in sheets. But like,
well, each little mini satellite would have a lifespan, right? So
for sure.
You have whatever servers in there and whatever disks in there. You know the mean time before failure on that.
Well, yes, but see,
there'd be some
normally
redundancy built in that, and then when it gets to the point, you just deorbit it, and you just if it's clustered, it's fine.
you got to remember is that because you're in space, you are exposed to all the cosmic radiation, right, which is significantly more brutal.
Yep.
So like normally you either have to have hardened electronics, or I know SpaceX does a lot of things where they don't use like the space rated components, but they'll put 3 in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you get a lot of redundancy in the environment, and you do a lot of error correction that way to help with bits being flipped. So yes, there are different ways to do it, but if you have to have triple of something to get 1 times the compute, like there's an overhead in that, right? So
right, triple the power, right?
Yep.
Triple the cooling, right? Yep.
So
yeah, I
we'll
think
see.
I think the handling the cooling might be a bit of an easier one, because as I said before, like one side of the satellite is going to be blisteringly hot and the other side's going to be cold as, and so you have all of your heat dispersion on that cold side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just have the radiator on that cold side, and it just stays icy cold. I think the power issue is going to be huge. Like the size of the solar arrays in order to power. You think about what it takes to power an R640, right? They're dual 10 amp PSUs in them that are running at 240 volts here, probably 110 at 15 amps in the US. That's a considerable amount of power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. When it's at full tilt, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They chew huge wattage.
Yeah, but you can bet that that's not what they're going to run. It'll be AI workloads for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Which would be even more.
Yeah.
Even more costly.
Yeah. Oh, there'll have to be some classic CPUs in there as well to support the AI workloads, but the bulk of it will be, not H100s. What's the current generation? Or maybe even Musk will make his own chip. Who knows?
Well, yeah, there is talks I saw on another article that Musk he's looking at a phone. SpaceX is looking at a phone, and they're looking at their own chips. So,
all right. Do you want to pull out like the full scheme that's really going on here, though?
Well, come on,
hit us with it.
Give us the theory.
I'm Elon Musk. I have this albatross that was Twitter that I was forced to purchase because I was running my mouth on K. Twitter loses a whole bunch of money. I convince a whole bunch of companies to invest money in my XAI startup. I then use that money to buy Twitter back from myself, right? Paying me back and my original Twitter investors. Now Twitter's rolled up into XAI. Elon Musk, has SpaceX as the crown jewel, launch capability, and Starlink, which is gorgeous, right? Printing money hand over fist. Everybody wants a piece of it. It's completely held privately, and only like small investors. It's not publicly IPO'd. I announce SpaceX desperately needs to own XAI because XAI is great at building data centers, because that's a core competency of their company for some reason. And this is what's been announced, right? So this is happening. SpaceX is now acquiring Twitter effectively because it's picked up XAI, and he wants to float SpaceX as an IPO. All right, with a valuation of $1.4 trillion to throw it into the S&P 500, which means that index funds will instantly have to start investing into SpaceX and all of his downstream components. All right. We are just in a massive media hype cycle to push this as data centers in space, and we're going to have new chips and we're going to have new phones. Everybody wants this. right?
Yeah, right.
So that SpaceX's IPO can be record numbers, and because Musk owns it and has the majority of it and the full control of it, pushes him into being the world's first trillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole playbook,
You heard it here
right?
first. That's the playbook. Yep.
This is this is not Dave's original thing. This is just look at everything in the last couple of months. This is where it's going.
I you were saying all those bits, and I'm going, hey, I remember reading that. Hey, I remember reading that. Oh, hang on. This makes way too much sense. I'm out.
And when you frame it and they go, okay, yep, all right, I see where we're going.
Yep.
And in fact, embedded in this article, it's a Bloomberg story. SpaceX said to consider merger with Tesla or XAI.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, aren't they?
No, the XAI one's been announced.
Yeah,
it is happening. So yeah, and the Tesla one, I think Tesla is still more of a distraction for Musk than anything else.
Right.
For some reason, they keep throwing money at him, but it's not. He doesn't have enough control of it, and he only really wants it if he can control it. It's the same sort of ego that says he only wanted the Optimus robots to be done as long as he has control of it, because he wouldn't trust anybody else to run like a 1 million strong army of robots in the world.
No. We should all trust
chew on
him.
that little narcissism for a moment. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. On that bombshell.
Yeah.
Let's move on. The news doesn't get any better.
Nah.
DRAM prices expected to double. Oh, man. Article on the Register. DRAM prices expected to double in Q1 as AI ambitions push memory fabs to their limits.
I blame Elon Musk. He wants to put 1 million data centers in space. They're all going to need memory.
SpaceX is just going to make their own memory, man.
Yeah. Maybe the FCC should quash that idea of putting 1 million data centers in space.
Yeah.
We'll save our money on the memory.
The world needs more fabs at this point. That's where we're at.
Yeah, man. We got no memory. We got no SSDs. Nvidia's not going to make a 6,000 series of GPUs for consumers.
I can see them withdrawing from the consumer market completely. Like there's no point. It's a fraction of percent for them.
Yep.
Yeah. So just to put this into context, Nvidia's most powerful rack system contains, drumroll, 54 terabytes of LPDDR5X memory. Yeah. And
so, and if you just want 32 gig for your laptop, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah. So I sort of knew this was happening already, but I found it interesting. This article pointed it out. Is the OEMs like the Dells and the HPs and all those guys that build laptops, desktops, etc. Buy the memory in bulk about a year in advance, which is why the latest generation of Dell laptop comes out with last year's memory. And so what they've proposed you'll see is like the prices of laptops and desktops and that will stay fairly constant this year, but next year they're going to start ramping up because next year they're going to have to buy, well, they bought RAM at this year's price, which is double what it was last year.
Yeah, well, it's all effectively, or it is almost 100% like a futures market, right? Yeah. It's like if you buy gold or oil, like if you invest in it, like it doesn't turn up at your house, right? Unless you buy like physical gold, but if you buy it like on an exchange, you're buying a contract for future delivery. Yeah. Right? And that's what's really traded. And this is exactly what's happening here. It's contracts of future wafers.
Yep. So, yeah, TrendForce, which is the mob that's the industry watches at TrendForce, they've said that the pricing for DRAM will surge 90 to 95%.
Yeah. And that's after what already happened last year, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's just dig into this a little bit. Why does LLMs, why do they need so much memory? Well, it's all to do with the inference stage. So you've got the training of the model, and then you've got the inference. So the inference is basically when you're using the model. The model state is stored in a key value cache, and it's basically a short-term memory during the active use. So it's, in that key value cache needs to be high bandwidth memory. So the more of that key value cache, the more high bandwidth memory you have, the better the inference state, the inference result from the model is. So you've got a trained model, it contains more and more and more context in your 54 terabytes, and of course thousands of people are using it. You end up with the better result. And that basically comes down to the model's attention, right? So it needs to have attention across the entire input and everything that's in that key value cache. And you need a lot of fast RAM to do that. We need a new RAM technology. Maybe that's what's going to break it. Can't see that on the horizon though. All right, let's just catch up on a story that we've talked about. Seems to come across our desks every now and then. That is the Google Wiz deal. The European Commission doesn't really like it. The organisations want the European Commission to conduct a detailed antitrust review of the $32 billion deal, since they said it would threaten multi-cloud neutrality, increase customer lock-ins, and entrench Google's already expansive digital ecosystem.
So I've actually been wondering a little bit with some of these deals if after Broadcom, I think after the Broadcom VMware deal, I think a lot of the other regulators have gotten gun shy about mergers. Once
bitten, twice shy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if just like Broadcom's like poisoned the well.
I sort of, so I was reading this article this morning going, I don't understand why they would think that this would be this deal would be particularly bad. So like threatening the multi-cloud neutrality and increasing customer lock-in. So what they're trying to say there is that Google will take the Wiz product and they will start lagging on features for the other cloud providers whilst keeping theirs up to date. Essentially blocking people from using it. So they're saying that they're going to hinder the system by not providing updates to the other cloud or for the other clouds. Which, if you're spending $50-something billion or $30 billion on a piece of software, I'd be less inclined to do that because I'd want to be making that $30 billion back pretty quick.
So you want to sell it to other providers here.
Yeah.
But I think from what I read is like, so yes, you've got like, there's an explicit versus an implicit bias, right? There is one thing where a product manager sits down and go, all right, we're going to focus, right? We're actually going to drill down on GCP support and we're going to explicitly not work on the AWS side of things. Like, yes, there is that, and you make it a market assessment whether or not that's something you'd be valid to do. The other piece is more just that like the developers that work there sit next to the Google engineer and they've got access to the code base and it's just easier. Like we're all in the same org. I can ping him on, we can have it jump on a meet call. I can have a look at the code base myself. I can see how GCP works. Therefore, my development life cycle is a lot faster. So it's not that it's necessarily we planned it. It's just we can move quicker on GCP. We can add more features in GCP, and then it takes a lot more work for us to bring it to the other side. So that's more of the implicit bias.
Yeah, but okay, that's probably something I hadn't considered because I was sitting back before thinking, at the moment you've got a group of developers that are trying to develop across all of the clouds that are out there, and they have an equal amount of hindrance, I suppose, for all of the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Google buys Wiz isn't suddenly going to move into that building immediately. So having access to the code and all that sort of stuff, likely won't happen for ages. Like, I wouldn't imagine that Google would just go, oh, well, we own Wiz now, so here's all of our code for Google Cloud, hook in.
No. There'll be a transformation. It takes a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Especially at that scale. So, I understand the concern that they've got with it becoming a Google-only product, but I sort of don't really...
Isn't that why you buy things?
Well...
Usually that's what happens, right? You buy these things and then it becomes your product and you can choose to sell it or choose to not sell it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we'll continue to watch this article and this story because it's not a fait accompli at this point. All right, so just a quick update in security news. FIG penalised 2.5 mil for cybersecurity failures. This one happened a little while ago, and the Australian Securities Investment has caught up with them. It was a large-scale data breach in 2023 that leaked tens of thousands of financial institution customer-sensitive data onto the internet. Last year, ASIC sued FIG, alleging it had failed to implement adequate cybersecurity measures over a 4-year period. As a result, some 385 gigabytes of data was compromised. There you go. That'll learn them.
Well, we hope so. We hope so.
The article does go on to say that they had failed to implement simple things like multi-factor for remote access, along with lack of policies for strong password, access controls for privileged accounts, appropriate configuration of firewall and security software. I mean, come on. A policy for strong passwords? I mean, that's not difficult.
Well, I would argue that it needs to be the default. Like, if you're using an identity provider and it doesn't come out of the box with strong passwords enforced, you've chosen the wrong identity provider. I'm looking at you, Microsoft, you morons.
Yes, password 123 is no longer an acceptable password.
No.
Password 123 exclamation point.
Ah, okay. Capital P as well, right?
And maybe an at instead of an A.
I found out the other day that Victoria, being the progressive state that they are, have got their own password security validation tool. So you can go to the VicGov site and they've got a password analyzer essentially, and it'll tell you how long it's going to take for someone to brute force your password. And even like if you take a basic word and replace it with, the at and the 1 and 3 and exclamation mark. And
everyone
all that
knows that pattern. Yeah.
Yep. It increases the security by a couple of hours.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Because everyone knows LEET. Everyone knows how to write in LEET. Yeah.
I'm quite partial to the, using a sentence as a password now.
Yeah, a little story.
Passphrase. Yeah. Passphrase, yeah. Fantastic idea.
All right, then. Let's finish the show off. Let's get on with the AI Wars. AI Wars.
Even though, we've been talking a whole bunch of AI the whole podcast.
Yeah. The whole show's been AI.
Yeah.
Well, you
Damn it, we're turning into Google.
AI,
you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. Google will make it easier to import ChatGPT conversations to Gemini. Now, I have to say, I had a tradie here the other day. The guy coming back because we renovated the pool, and I'm just talking to him about pool chemistry as you do, and I said, because I had been using Gemini and putting the numbers into Gemini and saying what do I need to do, blah 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 blah, and Gemini was giving me a blow by blow on how to get my pH right and how to get the ORP right and how to get all the chemistry right in the pool, and it worked, right? But when I was speaking to him, he knows about pools, not about AI. Instead of using the word Gemini, I used the phrase ChatGPT. I said, I just plugged it all into ChatGPT and it told me because it's the vernacular, and he immediately understood what I was saying.
But if
I said Gemini, he would have given me a quizzical look. So it's like it's great that they're doing this. You can import your ChatGPT sessions now into Gemini, but unfortunately, it's the ChatGPT is the verb that we use now.
Yeah.
You Google things, you don't Bing them, right?
Yeah, that's right. You Google things. No one uses Bing, and anybody who does use Bing is frustrated with life.
Yeah. So how's this going to work? You click on the tools, and then you'll get this little in the list there. Along with Notebook LM. I don't know if you guys have used this. Oh, this is great.
Yes. I got that on my phone.
That's fantastic. Adding Notebook LM as a grounded source for your prompt. But you get a little import AI chat there. And you can import stuff from add a file. And you got to download the chat history, and then you got to add a file, and then bang, they'll appear in Gemini. And you can continue your chat conversation in Gemini. Along with that, we're getting higher resolution images, 2K and 4K. Another upcoming additional surfaced setting as a likeness, which currently leads to a video verification page. So I think the idea with this one is you can upload a video and then have the AI verified whether it's AI generated or not.
Yes, yeah. Get rid of the AI slop with the AI slop.
So there's some new features coming up in Gemini. Speaking of Gemini, ex-Google engineer convicted for stealing AI trade secrets to benefit China.
So we covered this last year. So we covered this dude getting potentially, he was alleged at that point. It's now confirmed. Mm-hmm. He did do the thing that he did, or that he was accused of doing. And he has been convicted on 7 counts of economic espionage and 7 counts of theft of trade secrets in just 11 days in the U.S. District Court in Northern District of California.
Yeah, right. Basically, he downloaded a bunch of emails before he left Google and downloaded the trade secrets to his personal computer less than 2 weeks before he resigned from Google in December 23. Prosecutors said he also applied for what prosecutors described as a Chinese government-sponsored talent plan intended to attract people to contribute to the community, the country's economic and technological growth. Caught red-handed, buddy.
Yep. Go to jail. Do not collect $200.
So the update on that one. And then finally, to finish... to finish the AI wars for this week, we talked about it earlier, and I think it's a pretty cool thing. OpenClaw, turns out there is a bunch of malware in it though.
Oh, really? The AI agent that can do anything.
Who would have thought?
They did have a whole API rewrite and a whole bunch of changes there just at the start of February because of some issues, some malware issues in it. So if you are using Gemini to build an OpenClaw instance, it gets it completely wrong. You just go to the docs. It's pretty simple, and just read it from the source. But under malware threat, runaway AI agent project OpenClaw turns to Google's Virus Total. So they've made a deal with Virus Total, and you can actually, that'll be embedded now into OpenClaw, basically to try to prevent this kind of thing.
Did you see the actual the issue that they found? So one of the guys from 1Password, as one of the dudes there, has found that one of the very popular skills for OpenClaw called Twitter had a required dependency listed. That dependency turned out to be a multi-step downloader for InfoStealer malware for Apple's Mac OS.
Yeah, so everything about OpenClaw and the whole OpenClaw community, it's all sort of angled towards running it on a Mac.
Yeah.
And it's sort of pitched at developers, and the idea is you have it running as an agent in the background on your Mac, and it's doing stuff for you whilst you're doing your job, or it could effectively do your job for you.
Yeah, right.
So don't be put off by that. You can run it on Linux and on Windows. Windows has got enough holes in it already. Why not just add a few more?
Yeah.
You're not missing out. It can steal your data on every platform.
No, every platform.
That's right.
Absolutely, yeah.
So with the help of the OpenClaw, this article says, with the help of an OpenClaw bot, security vendor Koi audited the skills files on Claude Hub and found that out of the 2,857 skills, 341 of them were malicious. That's about 12%.
Yeah. Yep. So, but you can make your own skills. You don't have to go downloading them from their
I can steal my own data.
repository.
Yeah. I can steal my data and give it to me. I'll learn something about myself.
So, yeah, be careful with OpenClaw for the moment. Don't go giving it access to everything.
Yeah.
Or do. Hey, why not, right?
Yeah.
Just YOLO it, right?
Yeah.
But boy, it's fun to play around with. I tell you what, and going away. They'll fix this. They'll clean it up, and this is going to be
interestingly. The last part of this article says that the founder of Australia's Devol information security vendor, Jamison O'Reilly, has been brought onto the OpenClaw project as a lead advisor for the security program. So they're tapping some pretty good talent there.
Nice. Well, there you go. That's a nice OpenClaw bookend to the show.
Yeah.
Well, we might finish it up there. It's been great chatting today, guys. Don't forget, if you're listening to the show, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Go to Apple Podcasts, write a review. It really help the show out. While you're at YouTube, start the discussion there and smash that like button. And give us a sub too. That'd be great. How you can contact the show, you can use the old-fashioned email, contact@gcbbytes.com.au. Maybe set your agent up to do that. That'd be really cool. And find us on the web, www.gcbbytes.com.au. Did I tell you now I generate the show notes in Gemini as well? I don't have to do any of that anymore. And today's sponsors are High-Tech Solutions, Technofish Consulting, and Mantle Group. Well, that's about it from us. We've chin-wagged enough. We've got to get on and do some work.
Yeah, at some point today, yeah.
Maybe.
All right, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. But I am very unprepared for this podcast today.
Welcome to my life. So am I.
Oh, I was hoping you guys read the articles.
I've only been up since 4:15.
Right.
I just had a meeting with the US on a bunch of design stuff. So